Hey guys, I'm very excited. I have attorney Justin Weinstein on the show today. And Justin, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks so much for having me, Chris.
Amazing. So, kicking things off, I like to ask this question because everybody's journey about how they got into law is a little bit different. But tell me about that story.
Yeah, like when I got out of college, I was still kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And I was looking into grad school as an option between business and law. And I actually had a friend convince me to take the LSAT. And it seemed like the right thing to do. I majored in business and to kind of market myself a little bit better, distinguish myself having a law degree. While if I wanted to go to business or wanted to go into law, it seemed like something that opened a lot of doors, a lot of options. So I went with it, and it ended up being the best move I ever made.
Yeah, amazing. There's just so many opportunities, so many different paths. I look. My sister has a big home services company. I always tell her, I'm like, which one of your sons are going to go to law school for us? Like, send them.
Yeah.
You've built an impressive operation, the Weinstein Legal team across Florida. You first hung your shingle in 2016. So, what made you make the leap to go out on your own and start on your own?
Yeah, I mean, that's always an interesting decision to make, one where you have to weigh the pros and cons and really weigh your confidence. At that point in time, I had been working for a couple of other firms, both of which were in the PI space, but I kind of felt a little shackled with the amount of responsibility, the amount of authority that I had to make decisions. And sometimes that happens when you're in larger firms. And I had talked to a couple of clients, and I was really, really honing in on there are things that are missing from these prior experiences that I've had that I really want to bring to the community. And in order to do that, I kind of had to, you know, uh, open my own law firm and really start focusing on those things that I wanted to bring to our community. And that's what ended up happening.
Yeah. So let me lean into that. Like, can you give some examples of like some of those things for the community and just like where you felt like kind of constrained working at for someone else?
Yeah, absolutely. I have a lot of ideas. I'm an ideas guy. As I mentioned, I majored in business, and a lot of times I would bring up certain things that I would suggest in running the company, or what we should do for marketing, or how we should really be hitting boots on the ground and communicating with our communities, understanding kind of what are their pain points, how can we help them a little bit better or provide more of a value add. And what ended up happening was I was getting a lot of fear-based responses. It was almost as if I don't really want to go outside the status quo that I'm used to. And if I do that, I might be ruining what I've already built. And so that just didn't align with how I was feeling about how legal resources should really be accessible to the community.
I see this a lot. We work with about 130 PI firms now, and I see this a lot from the older school firms that were heavy in TV. They took a risk to do TV, 20 years ago, but now things like social and TikTok and all the different strategies that are emerging, it's like they're less, willing to change. And I don't know if that comes from age or, they was really successful doing a certain thing. But yeah, I see that a lot in many of the firms that we work with.
Mhm.
You know, I noticed you handle PI and criminal cases. So what made you the decision to structure your firm to work on the two practice areas? Tell me about that decision.
Yeah, I had a very close friend who was going through his journey as an associate, had similar feelings that I did. Wasn't really being heard, didn't wasn't really being understood by the partners at his previous firm. Had really good experience and knew that he wanted to build a network and a practice that he could feel proud of and really contribute to his community. And those are factors that we look for. And because I was such a close friend of, I mean, I studied for the bar with this person. My partner is Matthew Shaffrin, and he embodies the same type of feelings that I did when I left, and it just made sense at that point in time to support each other and really to align our goals together. So we opened that department in 2019. And I'm sure you're going to get to how does that relate to PI, and it really does feed off of each other. So
Mm-hmm.
if we want to talk about that, I'd be more than happy to.
Yeah, I would like that. I know the cash flow implications are huge, right? I see a lot of people, these startups for PI, at least nowadays. It's like how do you position yourself to not get paid for a year or 2 years? So tell me about the decision of how they kind of their synergy and how they work together.
They're very related because our approach, which we're going to talk about, the law of we is all about you. I know we're gonna talk about that, but a lot of that has to do with our community and the relationships we're able to build within the community before a legal situation arises. And what we find is that so many people have these legal issues that they run into that either could have been prevented or they could have had knowledge beforehand. And it's all about building those meaningful relationships and having meaningful interactions so that people can feel like, you know what, lawyers are approachable. It's a safe space. I'm okay reaching out to a lawyer for advice, before something happens. And don't mean to go off topic because criminal and PI really do feed off of each other.
Mm-hmm.
There are plenty of people that get in trouble with the law that also potentially have accidents or are injured or know somebody that is injured or in accidents. Everyone can be a potential client. So our marketing strategy is really involving and having these meaningful interactions with people before something happens.
Yeah, and that kind of speaks to your earlier point where you're talking about boots on the ground being part of your community. So this whole concept, this law of we, I guess it encapsulates that.
Yeah, it's all about being proactive. When we did the research based on, because this is a branding strategy that was born the middle of last year, it basically showed that the majority of these law firms out there are very reactionary, or their marketing is based on a conditional experience or something that happened, and then people can come, hire them for legal services. If that's an accident, oh, did you get an accident? We can help. Were you arrested? We can help. It's very transactional, or at least it feels like that to me. And when we spoke to people about that, they said, yeah, that's basically all I hear from legal marketing. It's just if I was involved in an accident. You had a guest on recently that I listened to, Gary Jordan, and he actually put this point home where he said most law firms are talking to the 1% out there that might have been injured or arrested. We need to expand those. I completely agree with him. We need to expand that area to everyone. Everyone in our community deserves access to legal resources and the ability to speak to a lawyer about anything. And I truly believe that we have an obligation as lawyers and law firms to provide that as a service to our community.
I think that's honorable. I think that's amazing. I think that the bad feeling that people get, when they hear attorney, I think that goes away when you know someone that they are a part of your community, they're like family, and they're trying to elevate the everything for everyone, safety, protection. You also, you talk about community culture, inspiring your team. And I want to just touch on, you have this Monday morning minute email that you send out. So tell me why you created this, how it's made an impact in inspiring your team.
Yeah, this is something that I harp on with every person that talks about our culture and what our culture is. How do we stay very positive? From the minute that we walk through the door all the way till we leave, because our positivity is infectious. It's infectious to the people around us that we're working with every day. It's infectious to our clients. People hear it through the phone. If you're not smiling, they understand that you really care about them and understand them if you're smiling over the phone. There's research behind all of this, and understanding that our moods, our emotions, being able to understand them and then also be aware of how it affects other people. The start of the Monday Morning Minute was about priming our firm from the get-go of the week to be ready emotionally, to be positive, and to go in it with a great mindset that we're going to bring this to our clients. We're going to bring it to our cases. Anybody that we touch is going to be a positive interaction. And it starts with myself, and the culture that I want to create here is one of positivity. A lot of firms, I feel like, especially the ones that I previously had the experience of working in, or some other firms that potentially some of our staff have worked in, there happen to be a lot of inter-office conflict. And that's not something that we want to promote within our firm. And I think it really just hinders our ability to provide the best service and to communicate with each other in a way that gets the best results. If we're dealing with drama, emotions in the wrong way, it really does impact everyone around us. So that Monday Morning Minute, it's about self-development, emotional intelligence. I even write some stuff about biohacking and to improve our efficiency. It's just things that I've been reading over the week, and I've gotten some really good feedback from it, and I truly enjoy putting it together. It's something that's a passion.
That's incredible. I would personally love to see that in a newsletter format, and maybe that's just an idea for you that maybe you can pass that to the community, and maybe they would find it helpful too.
We've recently actually, I put it out there on my social platforms. If anyone is interested, feel free to DM me or message me or your email. I will add you to the list. And Chris, you're number one that I'm going to add after the podcast.
Amazing. Yeah, I would love that. Thank you.